You have the opportunity to end karmic cycles and embrace a new part of your soul's evolution in June. Hey, Alchemist, this month the energy themes are soul evolution, focus, and returning back to the heart. This is a very pivotal month within our soul's evolution that's marked by so many special events, including the alignment of 6 planets at the beginning of the month. We have the solstice and we have the Venus start point. So this is a very important month for soul shifts and evolution. And before we get into the energy update for June, let's set some context for May. Hey, if you're new here, my name is SolTara. I'm a medium and I share alchemy practices from ancient Egypt and Atlantis. If that resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe. May was filled with deep change. I'm sure you've noticed that in your own life. And one of the reasons is because May number 5 represents change and freedom. And that's exactly what we're moving through right now. Humanity is being freed at so many levels. Some of these levels we can't even see. And what's so fascinating is that May was the last time that we had the final 5th super new moon of 5 consecutive super new moons. So there's no denying that we're entering a new shift in consciousness, a new evolution of consciousness. One of these factors that is signifying this new evolution that we're moving through is in your own body. Let me know, have you noticed that you've had migraines, headaches, or nausea, or neck pain, shoulder pain, vertigo, and it only lasts 24 to 48 hours? This is because this is your body reacting to the solar flares coming in. And in May, we had the biggest solar flare that we've had in the last 2 decades. And this is going to become a normal occurrence now because we're entering the peak of a solar cycle. What is a solar storm? A solar storm, a solar flare, is basically a hurricane hurling at us from the sun. This is charged with electromagnetic plasma and specifically a high amount of electrons. When all of this energy is coming into your body of course is going to react. Think about if you're out in the sun too much, if you're out in the rain too much, your body's going to respond in specific ways. When these solar flares happen, our electromagnetic field, because you are also made of energy, right? Like if you were to have a heart attack, the first thing that the emergency personnel would do would pump electricity into your heart. So you are made of electricity and you're also made of magnetic energy. So when this heightened amount of electricity comes from the sun, of course you're going to have migraines, of course you're going to have headaches. And this is because the electromagnetic field of your own body is being in balance with this external energy. And so this is something that's part of a bigger human evolution process that we're moving through right now. These solar cycles happen in periods of 11 years. And right now we are entering the peak of the solar cycle. But this is in the context of a bigger cycle that we're moving through. Right now, we're also moving through a 12,000-year-old cycle where our solar system is moving through the photon belt. And this is a part in our cosmos that has a heightened amount of photons. Photons are light. Light is information. Light carries information. And that's what your body is learning to do right now. That's why it's uncomfortable. It's the growing pains. Your body is learning to anchor in more light and more information. So this ascension process that everyone's talking about is not just a spiritual, it's not just a consciousness evolution, it's a physical, biological evolution that we're moving through within also the context of a bigger picture, a 26,000-year-old cycle with a precession of the equinox. And so there's big changes that are happening right now. And June is a pivotal marker in this change because June is all about soul shifts. So for a second, let's just get into context what happened in May. The day after we had this giant solar flare, the biggest one we've had in 2 decades, I went to Red Rock National Park and I was sun gazing at sunset and I saw this massive fish coming out of the sun. And that was signifying to me the movement from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So these cycles typically take 2,160 years moving out of one astrology sign into another. So we're literally witnessing that right now. And Aquarius is all about the people and community. And that's why you're seeing protests. That's why you're seeing the rise of community now, because this is a natural process that our whole planet, our whole solar system is moving through. And it's only going to continue. This is just the beginning of what's coming. That's just the stage of this 2,160 year cycle, power returning to the people. But if we take a step back, if we look at the 12,000-year-old cycle, the 26,000-year-old cycle we're moving through, right now, we are moving through a new evolution of consciousness itself. That's why a lot of the galactic beings are coming right now, because our planet is finally able to anchor a higher consciousness collectively. What this means is that our souls can now choose to evolve in different ways. And that is what the new opportunities in June are about. We are birthing a new spiral of ascension. What is the spiral of ascension? This spiral of ascension, you will find it everywhere in the world, in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, in the Americas. Why? Because all of our ancestors were literally talking about the same thing. We don't have to make things complicated. Just look at how simple this image is, and this will show you everything about this whole human evolution. The spiral of ascension is basically us returning back to the center, back to source point, back to God, spirit, creation, the universe, whatever you believe in. And when we return back to this, we have to learn soul lessons, and we get closer to the center. We get closer to the truth, which is love. For the last thousands and thousands of years, humanity has chosen to evolve through duality, through pain, through extremes, through suffering. But now humanity can choose a new way to evolve. A new spiral of ascension is being created right now. And that's why it's uncomfortable what we're experiencing in our own hearts, what we're witnessing in the world, what Mother Earth is witnessing. It's like the growing pains, the labor pains. Like, think about giving birth, like it's super painful. I've never given birth, but I can only imagine the level of pain that must be to create new life. And that's what we're doing now, creating a new form of life on this planet, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And that's what June is about, you embracing this new ways of being, new ways of seeing, new ways of eating. And I just wanted to set the context for you in terms of what soul evolution shifts we're about to enter in June and the opportunities available to us. Keep that context in mind as I'm sharing the energy and astrology update for June. In June, we're going to have the solstice, the start of a new season, but every single equinox and solstice is a soul graduation point. At the beginning of the month, on June 3rd, we have 6 planets aligning, and these planets will align from the vantage point on Earth. So know that these planets are also moving around the sun in a spiral, but for us on Earth, it looks like they're in a straight line. And this alignment is showing a new path forward. So literally, it's written in the stars. And if we just look to see what's happening in the cosmos, it will reflect what's happening internally in your own life. So a new path is being created for you with this. And with a new path comes new opportunities. These planets that are all going to be aligning are Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Mars, Neptune, and Saturn. But what's so fascinating is that the moon will also join these planets from June 4th until 6th. So that means that we have 7 planets with this divine alignment, and 7 is the number of the divine in numerology. So this is a divine path forward, a divine alignment. This is the new spiral of ascension that's open to us if we are conscious about using our free will towards expansion. This is why you may be seeing wings in your dreams or in your meditations, or you just feel an ache or pain right by your shoulder blades. We all have these etheric wings, and we have to consciously open them up. And these wings represent the new freedom that is available to us and to humanity at large during this huge evolution of consciousness that we are moving through. What this means is you have to consciously open up your wings, and you have to embrace your freedom. And the way to do that is to be bold. Connect with the dragons around you. This is the year of the dragon, and dragons are all about being bold, and they know who they are. And that's going to be one of the key pieces for you, especially as we're moving through these huge currents of change, because everyone right now is projecting what we should be doing, what we should be thinking, what we should be saying. It's like humanity is being pinned against itself. We have to fly out of this 3D artificial matrix. And when we fly out of that, we can see the bigger picture. And one of those things that we have to fly out of is this illusion that we're separated, that just because I look like from a certain skin color, a certain ethnicity, it means that you're different than me. All of that is an illusion, and the way that you're able to see that illusion is by connecting from a higher perspective, seeing the bigger picture at play. So you have to be centered in who you are. You have to know who you are. You have to know what your soul purpose is. Otherwise, you're going to get swept up in this current of change. One of the things that's very critical is for you to ground. There is so much cosmic activity, there's solar activity, there's the Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of the earth is just non-stop spiking. And so this is affecting your energy field. And that's why sometimes you may feel these spurts of anxiety or overwhelmingness, because there's just so much moving in your energy field. And you have to ground, you have to be centered. Otherwise, you're going to get swept up into things that are not in alignment with your highest timeline. And one way to do that is to really sit with yourself and reflect on who you are. Not who you are in terms of like the labels that you use for yourself, but who are you at a soul level? Beyond this personality that the mind has created, who are you truly at the soul level? And what are you here to do? Because right now there's so many different projections of what we should be doing, what should be thinking. And this is where free will comes in, but this is also where awareness and consciousness comes in. Think about the Matrix. Do you remember in the Matrix how there were 3 groups? There was Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus, one group, going into the Matrix and trying to wake people up and pull them out of that hologram simulation and illusion. And then there were the people in the middle, those who were aware of the Matrix and aware of the other world that was being created. I think they called it Zion. So there's these people who are in between. And then in the other world, there was the colony of survivors who had escaped the Matrix, and they were free of these AI robots. And they were starting to create a new civilization, a new way of life. And so similar to us, there are many different roles that we're here to play. Some of you are here to help people escape from the Matrix. Some of you are here to destabilize the Matrix and dismantle the unhealthy systems that we exist in. Some of you are here to bring people from the 3rd dimension into the 4th dimension so that they can have more conscious freedom with their souls. And some of you are here to create a whole new world with new systems. And so we're birthing a new consciousness. And part of this new consciousness also means birthing new systems on planet Earth. Earth right now is in the 4th dimension, and she's bouncing, trying to create a new 5th dimensional planet where these structures of 5th dimensional school systems, political systems, educational systems can physically exist on this planet. And so right now we're like moving through that process. So just like in the Matrix, everyone played their roles. We're all playing our roles. And the more that we keep judging each other for what we're not saying, what we're not doing, the more we're weakening humanity, because we all came here with a unique soul contract, with a unique soul mission, and that's what we're here to do. And it's not going to look the same for everyone. It's not meant to look the same for everyone. So honor your path and know what your path is. And discernment to know what your path is going to play a big role during this last half of 2024, as well as having the courage to honor and walk your path. We're birthing a whole new way of being, a whole new way of thinking, a whole new humanity. You've heard people talk about the new earth. These are pivotal times. Like, this has never happened before in our human history. I mean, it's happened in in Atlantis, in Lemuria, but now it's happening again, and we don't know how to do it. And so you're a pioneer, and people are going to look at you like you're crazy and you're weird. But that's why you have to have the courage to honor this path that hasn't been walked before. And that's why you have to connect with your solar plexus and be bold and really embrace that boldness in this year of the dragon. It's no accident that all of these things are happening now in the year of the dragon. Now with these 6 planets aligning, now as we ended the 5 consecutive super new moons of the year, so now is your time to walk this new path forward. Stop delaying it. It's also important for you to be compassionate with yourself, because there are growing pains with these changes. You have to break out of old belief systems, old karmic cycles, and that's part of transformation. Transformation is not the easiest thing, but also it's the nature of labor pains, going through the birth canal and being rebirthed as a new version of you, birthing a new consciousness, birthing a new version of humanity. Yeah, it's gonna look difficult, but that's why you have to remain heart-centered. And that's the most beautiful thing that happens on June 4th with the Venus star point. And I'll talk about that in a second. But with these planets aligning, it's literally the macro representing the micro. Everything that we're seeing happening in our skies, it's something that is happening within your internal universe, because everything outside is inside of you as well. So as we see these planets aligning, also it's a good day for you on June 4th and June 5th and 6th to align your chakras, align all of your energy centers, so that you can be open to receiving the messages that want to flow into your vessel. There's the universal law of correspondence, as within, so without. So that's a spiritual context. If we look at the quantum physics context, at the science, because right now we're meant to be bridging spirituality and science together, the right brain and the left brain, the masculine and the feminine together. If we bring these together right here, that's where we unlock 100% of our consciousness. So it's about merging these aspects of you, again, transcending duality. It's totally a new way of living, a new way of being. And the science aspect of this is quantum entanglement. There's so many research papers since the early 2000s, scientists at Oxford saying that this is a simulation, this is a hologram. What is a hologram? So an easy example to think about this is if you think about a bookmark, that's a hologram. Like when you move it around, you can see different aspects of it. So if you take one little piece of this bookmark, you will be able to see that entire image. So let's just say it was a flower. You'll be able to see that all of that flower in that one piece of the bookmark that you took from it. So everything inside of this image will be inside of this one part of the hologram. So that's why we're literally everything, and everything is us. And merging science and spirituality, the right brain, left brain, is something we're learning. So have compassion with yourself, because we have been trained to only live via the mind. And that's why this June 4th date is so important, because on June 4th, we have the Venus star point. And again, we are so divinely supported, and this is a clear indication of this. So the Venus star point is when the sun and Venus are exactly in conjunction. This is on June 4th, but Venus will be close to the sun from June 3rd to the 5th. So during this time, there's going to be a favorable energy of harmony, of love. If you actually look at the pattern that Venus makes in the sky, it like goes in and out, in and out. And it's sort of the pattern that we make with our heart. The blood goes in and out of our heart. And we have to go inside of the heart and then create with that wisdom. Go inside of the heart and then create with that wisdom. What's so special about this Venus star point is that it's happening in Gemini. What's fascinating is that in May, Jupiter just entered Gemini, and that takes 12 years. So we have this 4-year cycle and 12-year cycle aligning with both Venus and Jupiter being in Gemini. This Venus star point in Gemini happens until March 21, 2025. Again, pointing to this bigger concept of soul evolution, because March 21st, 2025, that's one day after the equinox. And every equinox and solstice is a period of soul graduation. So during this June 4th Venus start point, this is a great day for you to connect with your heart, because the heart is a portal to your soul. This is a time for you to reflect, to meditate, to sing, to dance, to get creative, because Venus represents beauty, harmony, love, relationships. And this is a great day for you to focus on creating that, all of these themes of Venus in your life. One way to do that is by connecting with your divine feminine, being in your creative flow. So June 4th, focus on a passion project that allows you to be in the flow. The flow is where like time is non-existent and you're in your genius zone. This is where the divine feminine lives. The divine feminine is nothing and everything. It's that void space. Connect with this void space by working on a passion project, or by singing, meditating, painting, doing anything that gets you out of your mind and into your hearts, because the messages are going to be flowing. If you've been waiting to get creative inspiration, this is the day you want to block out just to do that. And Venus is aligning with the north node of Uranus. Uranus is the planet of change, innovation, and freedom. And Uranus was actually discovered during the Age of Enlightenment. And that's what we're entering right now, a new age of enlightenment. And I know it doesn't look cute right now, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna look cuter, and it's gonna look cuter the more that we connect with our hearts, right? Like, think about if all the military, if all the politicians, if all the billionaires started to connect with their heart, maybe we would stop destroying the earth. We would stop destroying each other. And so this is the pathway towards a new earth, through the heart, through the divine feminine rising within all of us. Divine feminine transcends sex or gender roles. It's that aspect within us that is focused on the heart, that is focused on the collective, the nurturing aspect that lives inside of all of us. And it's time for us to start connecting with it more now. And so Venus is conjunct with the north node of Uranus. The north node of Uranus represents karma, fate, and destiny. And so this is going to connect again with the themes of soul evolution, because now we can transcend certain karmic patterns and change our fate if we choose to. Okay, if that's not enough magic for you, the new moon happens on the 6/6 portal. So the new moon happens 2 days after this Venus star point. And if we look at the numerology, 6 represents harmony, love, nourishment, service, everything that Venus represents. And so literally everything is pointing to this. And that's what we have to focus on. Again, it's not complicated. Just return to your heart and create harmony. The more that you're in alignment with your heart, your life is going to become more harmonious. And I'll talk about how you can do that by releasing pain and karmic things that no longer serve you in a second. So one thing about new moons is that they are focused on creating a new cycle. So people like to use them for manifesting their intentions. One of the things to consider for this new moon, because it's happening on the same day as the 6/6 portal, is being at peace with your efforts. So 6 represents harmony. And I know a lot of the time we want to control the outcome of our efforts. Like, we want to prepare really well for this interview. We want to look really cute for this presentation or for this date or whatever. Like, we always want to control the outcome. But for this new moon, consider just being at peace with your efforts. Like, do the best that you can and then surrender and release control. Again, that's the divine feminine coming in. And the reason why you want to do that is because when you're at peace with your efforts, the universe is saying, okay, there's alignment here in what was sent out. So let me go deliver something to bring in to this space. Because the universe, God, source, spirit, creation is not blocking you. We are blocking ourselves. But that's the beauty of this, right? Like, we hold the power to transform these blocks and to receive the abundance, the love, the peace, the safety that is meant for us. The other reason why it would be helpful for you to release attachments to the outcome is because we're in the middle of the solstice portal. The solstice is not until June 20th, but this portal is so big that it opens up weeks before. Researcher Rory Duff says that it is open 30 days before the solstice and after the solstice. Same thing with the equinox. And so during the solstice and equinoxes, and also during eclipses, the quantum realm is more easily influenced. So if you're putting in effort right now, like maybe you're not going to get your manifestations at the next full moon or new moon, surrendering when you're meant to receive them, because think in terms of quantum terms. You can put in 1, but you can get 6 out. But if you think in linear terms, I'm manifesting one thing, and if you're really focused on getting that one thing back, you're not really open to receiving all the quantum abundance, all the quantum expansion that is available to you and wants to flow through you. So have fun manifesting on that day. And this new moon is in Gemini in tropical astrology. So it's very much focused on the mind. Gemini is all about the mind, and the Gemini influence is going to be super high this whole month because Jupiter just entered Gemini in May. And so it's going to be there for the next year, and Jupiter is a planet of expansion. So our minds are going to expand, which means you need to embrace new ways of thinking. In sidereal astrology, this new moon is in Taurus, and we just had a Taurus stellium with the June 3rd planet alignment. So focus on that sense of stability and creating stability, not just in yourself, but in your home. Because the Venus star point just happens 2 days before this is a great time for you to focus on manifesting more harmony, more love, and more peace in your family life and in your home overall. Okay, now we get to the biggest event of the month, and that is on June 20th with the solstice. This is the start of summer in the northern hemisphere, and it's the start of winter in the southern hemisphere. So every solstice and equinox is a soul evolution point. So we can either graduate to another spiral in the Ascension spiral, or we'll have to repeat lessons. So one thing that's going to be showing up for a lot of us is karmic lessons. And one of the ways that you'll notice a karmic lesson is that it's a very deep pain. It's not like, a pain that you usually have, like you'll forget about it. It's a deep soul pain that just keeps coming over and over in your life. And this is because of karma that we have not integrated from past lives. And your soul is extremely old, so you've had many different lessons that you've had to learn. Some of those lessons we're still working through, and some of those lessons are no longer serving us. We can choose new ways of evolving, and this is where the discernment comes in. Something to keep in mind is that in order for you to move forward in your soul's journey, you sometimes have to go backward. Going into your past, clearing some things, sort of like a slingshot. If you pull a slingshot, the more you pull it backwards, the further it's going to go. It's sort of the same concept, because the present version of you, this incarnation, is happening right now. Your past life is also happening right now, even though it appears as a past, and your future life is also happening now. And that is the beauty of being a multidimensional soul. We have so many different aspects of us, and we have to become aware of these aspects in order to expand more of our love and more of our power. This June solstice is going to be a turning point for your soul's trajectory. Consider doing a karmic release of perhaps karmic vows, contracts, or lessons that are out of alignment with your highest good. We're hosting a special full moon ritual and meditation where we're going to be focusing on releasing these karmic contracts and vows. For this ritual, we're going to connect with our galactic family, because this is not your first incarnation on planet Earth. You've actually, most likely, if you're watching this, you're a starseed, and especially if you're drawn to this light, I see so many of you commenting on that light. You were incarnated in other planets, and other planets may be your home planet. It's very rare for us to have Earth as our home planet. Of course, it's our home planet now, but it was not our birth planet, like when our souls first incarnated ever. And so in this ritual and meditation, we're going to connect with our galactic family to release any karmic contracts or vows that may no longer be serving our soul's evolution, so that we can evolve with more peace and more grace and really embrace our soul's purpose. If you want to join that ritual meditation, you can get more information in the description of this video. I also may be hosting a special event for the solstice. I don't know yet, but all of that information, you can find it in the description of this video. And also, if you join my newsletter, I send a weekly newsletter with an energy update, just like this, it's focused on the week. The solstice is a very powerful day for manifesting. It's important that on June 20th, you're very aligned with your thoughts and you're focused on what you want, because again, it's easier to influence the quantum realm in this way. And this is why sometimes we accidentally manifest things that we don't want, because we're focusing on what we don't want. Consider manifesting a new path forward for your soul. And as you're doing that, set the intention that you'll feel safe doing that. Because again, we're like pioneers creating a whole new consciousness, and it can be scary to walk that path, but just know that you are safe doing so. Will give you the courage and will create space in your energy field to receive wisdom for how to do that. And again, we're going to be hosting a special ritual meditation for this special portal, and you can get all the information in the description of this video. On June 20th, it's also a great day for you to set intentions to receive new blessings, to receive miracles in your life, because June 20th is a very powerful portal. It's actually the longest day in the northern hemisphere, and it's the shortest day in the southern hemisphere. With this extra light that we're going to receive, breathe that into your solar plexus so that you can have the courage to walk your new, because as new opportunities are opening up, a whole new territory is opening up for humanity, and you have to be bold and courageous to embrace these new opportunities. And that's why this is the year of the dragon. It's the year to be bold. Because this solstice is a turning point in our soul's journey, you have to create movement. Most of us are sitting all day, and that's why we're feeling anxiety, because of all of this cosmic energy that's flowing at us, and it's not being released, or even it's not flowing around your whole body, because your body has millions and millions of currents of energy flowing through it. So on solstice, it's also important for you to move that energy. Practice Tai Chi, go on a hike, dance, do any sort of movement that feels good for your body, because that will help you to create more harmony and again, open you up to receive the messages from your intuition. And on June 21st, the day after the solstice, we have the full moon. And again, this is not an accident. If we just look at the stars, everything will be laid to us there. So with this full moon happening after we start a new season, full moons are a point of releasing. This is why you can consider doing a soul clearing, a soul cleansing, a soul healing, anything that resonates with you, but to really open up for your soul to embrace new opportunities that are uniquely available right now. Within tropical astrology, this full moon is in Capricorn, and in sidereal astrology, this full moon is in Sagittarius. I'm most likely going to make a separate video about the full moon, so I won't talk too much about it here. We're hosting a full moon ritual and meditation for this full moon and solstice portal, and you can get all of the details in the description of the video. So we start this month with all of the planets aligning on June 3rd, and then we end the month on June 29th with Saturn going retrograde in Pisces. Saturn is a disciplinarian. Saturn is known as the Lord of time and karma, and we need to learn how to escape the limitations of time and karma. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. That's why a lot of Pisces are old souls, because they've been around so many times in this cycle of life, of this cycle of incarnation. The karma that we're going to move through in June is soul karma. And one way that you can identify soul karma is that it's a very deep pain. It's a very deep form of suffering that comes around in your life a lot. We have to end certain karmic lessons in order for our souls to evolve. Saturn encourages us to have boundaries, to have patience, and to have discipline. So this is going to be themes that you're going to be noticing not even on June 29th. You'll feel this a week before, 3 days before, and very strongly the day of. And you can watch this video to learn how to create boundaries and how to be disciplined as an empath so you're not absorbing people's energies. I hope you have an incredible June, and I hope to see you inside of our full moon ritual and meditation. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for your likes, and thank you for your comments. Much love.